What's up, MB babes? Welcome back to my channel. I just want to start by saying, y'all, excuse my voice. It's allergy season and I have allergies very, very bad. My nose is so stopped up, so ignore my voice, just watch the video. But anyways, so today we are doing a slick back ponytail with a swoop, and we are using an 18-inch deep wave bundle from Royal Envy Hair. So let's get into it. So first I started off by shampooing my client's hair, and then I used some Nairobi leave-in conditioner and BioSilk to prep it, and then I blow dried it out, and now I'm just sleeking it out super straight. Regardless if your client has a relaxer or is natural, make sure you still sleek it out, because any form of texture is going to show up in the hair if it's not straight enough. So all them little ridges, if you don't get them out good enough, the ponytail is going to look lumpy and bumpy at the end. So make sure, regardless of how straight it looks, you still straighten the hair out. Because those little kinks will really come back and hunt you if you don't get it straight enough. But yeah, so after that, I'm just going to go ahead and part off my client's hair. We're doing a deep swoop or whatever. So yeah. And then after I get done doing those parts, I'm going to go through section by section. I'm taking like a 1/2 inch section and going in with my SoFly wax stick. Y'all, I really love this wax stick because it's not too greasy and it's not too heavy, and it doesn't weigh your client's hair down at all. So yeah, I go in, part it section by section, and then after I get done doing that, I'm just going to comb the product in. And whenever you're putting it on, try not to put too much, because it spreads very well. So as you can see, like while I was putting it on, you don't see a super thick white film. That's because I'm not putting that much on. It's still some on there, but don't put too much because it will weigh it down. And it's not bad for the ponytail. Too much product is just bad for when it's time to take out the ponytail. So when they take it out, it's going to be so greasy that you'll have to wash it 50 times. So don't weigh your client's hair down too much. But yeah, after you get done doing that, you're just going to start combing it and defining it and smoothing it out. And then you're going to put a ponytail holder on it and then spray it down with a little bit of Got2b spray. Don't make it too hard just yet, because you still have to work on this back part. And that's the reason why I use wax. I don't want it hard while I'm still working and molding, because if you make it too hard while you're molding, it's going to get sticky and then you won't be able to move it around like you need to. So if you mess up on any of this area, if it's not hard, you'll be able to go back and comb through it and fix it. But if you make it hard while you're still molding, you didn't messed up. But anyways, yeah, so I'm going in using my blow dryer. I'm alternating from my edge brush to my comb. And then when you get back to this back area, you're just going to kind of like brush that part up. I don't really bother it while I'm in the process of like sleeking everything. I do it all at the end. So yeah, after that, I go through and I'm just going to brush out the parts that are going to be my client's baby hair, and then swoop that rest of that back into the ponytail. And I'm not going to take the ponytail out to add that. Later on down the line, when I get the swoop in, I'm going to put another ponytail holder on top just so that it doesn't move. So yeah, now we're going to go on to the swoop. So try not to swoop that whole area around, because it's going to get super bulky and hard to manage. So I swoop half of it back, and then with the other part, I just start going and using my Got2b spray and alternating between my comb and my brush, depending on, you know, how the hair is looking. And it doesn't have to be perfect while you're swooping. You don't have to get every strand perfect while you're swooping. You just want to make it lay, or you want those hairs to lay where you want them to lay. So even if it looks patchy, or even if it looks sparse, the more hair that you add, the better it's going to be. However, if you have a client that has a short pieces in the front, or if their hair is just super thin, you might want to add tracks in this part. But my client, her hair is like pretty full and long, so she didn't have to add any pieces of hair up here. So yeah, I'm just going to keep on swooping and keep on combing. And I like to start making it hard towards the top when I get all that hair in. So now I'm just going to be like literally drenching in Got2b spray so it gets hard. And you want it wet enough to where you know that it's going to stick whenever you lay it down. When you get to this part, you have to be pretty quick, because the Got2b spray dries really fast, and if you go too slow, it'll start sticking to your hand and sticking to the comb. So when you're slicking, try not to use your hand so much to where you're putting your whole hand on there. As you see, my hands are literally lightly rubbing against the surface of the hair. If you literally put your hand on there, it's gonna get stuck, and then your whole shebang gonna lift up. It's happened to me before, so just be cautious. Just keep on swooping it. Use your hand as lightly as possible and get it to the desired area where you or your client think is best. So yeah, after that, I go with my blow dryer and my edge brush some more, and I swoop around her baby hair. And y'all, that's pretty much it for the molding process. So yeah, I'll come back and tell y'all how I do the wrap the hair around in a second. Okay, so now that I have the ponytail in, everything is completely hardened. Everything in the front is gonna stay still. So we got our mold down, and now it's time to wrap the hair. So I went ahead and I braided her hair down, and I'm gonna use this wrapping strip. I usually like to use black just because it's super seamless, and I don't like you have a little room for error if you use black. But I only have white, so I'm gonna use white. But I recommend that everybody else uses the black strips. But anyways, white still works. You just gotta make sure you lay those tracks directly on top of each other. So I like to double up my bundle to make my hair extra full. And not double bundle meaning 2 bundles. I just like to fold my bundle in half and wrap it around so that it's full. And it leaves me room to be able to use the whole entire bundle. So yeah, after I put all my glue over that strip that I put on, I'm just gonna hold down the track at the bottom and try to remain using tension on it all the way up. So as you can see, I'm using one hand to hold it down while I'm wrapping, and the other hand is going to wrap it around. Once I get to the top, that end of the track, as you can see, I don't have glue at the top of the base of that white strip. So I go ahead and I put glue directly on the track, and then I wrap it around, and then I'm going to take my blow dryer and make sure that it is completely dry. And then after that, you lift up the ponytail, grab a little section out the back, and that is what I'm going to use to wrap around the tracks to seal it and make sure that you can't see our tracks. So for that, I'm going to comb straight through it and then use my Got2b spray and comb through it again to make it super sleek. Make sure you pull this kind of tight, not super tight, but tight to where all the hairs lay flat, and then comb through it and wrap it around as good as possible. And I try to comb through it each time I wrap just to make sure that there's no ridges or anything. But yeah, so comb through it, wrap it around. When you get to a point to where the Got2b is starting to dry out, or you know, you didn't spray enough at the bottom, just spread a little bit more and wipe it, wrap it around. And then after that, I'm gonna take my edge brush and brush it through so I can make sure it's super seamless. I also brush through the top part of the bundles to make sure it's not bunched up and that it's no product super built up at the top. So yeah. After that, I'm just going to go through and finish defining the little baby hairs and stuff like that, and swooping all of those around. And that's pretty much it for that part. And at the end, since this is a deep wave bundle, I'm just going to go ahead and define and fluff up those curls. In the spray bottle, all it is water, and then I'm using some Nairobi foam, rubbing it in my hands, and then I'm going to brush that all the way through. And this is pretty much the final result. Make sure y'all let me know what y'all think about this ponytail in the comments. If there's anything that I missed or anything that y'all see in the video that y'all have questions on, make sure y'all leave a comment below, and I'll either make a new video to show y'all, or I'll just comment below and let y'all know what's going on. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Thank y'all for tuning in. Bye.